when when I was doing this speaking thing, I had taken a long hiatus at that time because I was preaching a lot, but I realized that I was losing the essence of it. I wasn't practicing what I preached. Next time I do it, I'm not going to do it because I want fame or because I want shares and I want people to know me. I'm going to do it because I want to do it. But it took a trip. I went overseas on a church trip to a place called Poland for something called War Youth Day. And it's a place basically where a lot of youth from across the world come together and celebrate God.
So why motivate, why uplift, and why inspire? Welcome back to another episode of Nationwide. I am Asheda Joseph, and today you're in for a special treat in this episode. Now, you might be saying our background looks a bit different, and that's because we decided to take Nationwide outdoors to the 3W's recreational park. Our guest today is someone who has taken social media by storm with his motivational speeches, words of hope and encouragement, and his love for coconuts. Join me in welcoming content creator, motivational speaker, and husband and lover of coconuts, Antonio Medford. Antonio, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me, man. I like the change of scenery.
Yeah.
You know, you in my space, you know, got coconuts.
Yeah.
We here, we outside.
Yeah, we outside. So you're someone who comes from a digital background, and we're talking about your YouTube channel, Battle TV, and your current career with coconut therapy.
Yeah.
So where did this passion for content creation and the digital space come from?
It's so crazy that you mentioned Battle TV because Battle was years ago, boy. Battle was when I was really trying to get a feel for speaking and I didn't really know where to start. But it took a trip. I went overseas on a church trip to a place called Poland for something called War Youth Day. And it's a place basically where a lot of youth from across the world come together and celebrate God. And you know, when I was there, I saw so many cameramen, so many videographers, cinematographers, you know, and I got to interact with them. And then for me, it was like, yo, like I could create this. But the difference was over there is that they were telling stories of young people. And for me, I always wanted to like create a platform for that. So originally, I told myself when I come back, I'm gonna create something called Battle. Before it was supposed to be called Ramen TV, really amazing moments even now. But I had scratched that completely, and then I went with something a little simple, which was Battle Beating All the Odds Television. And I look at my experiences and was like, okay, I want to be the person that I needed now, that I needed then in that moment. And that's how it really came about. You guys really did your research, so Battle was a long time ago. Yeah, I forgot about Battle a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's very inspirational.
Yeah.
In your past, you've been a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
And that essence has led into your career of coconut therapy.
Yeah.
So why motivate, why uplift, and why inspire?
Start your day with the Nation News e-paper. Enjoy the accessibility and new upgrades of the Nation News e-paper daily, whether on our mobile app or Nation News website. For added convenience, use our new audio read feature, which reads the newspaper aloud, or look in the archives for any publications you may have missed. Get your news, your time, your way with the Nation News e-paper and enjoy our new upgrades.
Why not? I mean, like right now, you have this, we live in a space right now where you're seeing a lot of young people in the negative light, you know, a lot of someone reminded for this, someone in trouble for this, or even with social media when it comes to content is more negative than the positive. You know, people prefer to get a good laugh, than to see something that can inspire. No, you could have theater and laugh and all those type of things with positive content too. So that's why I really wanted to like do something different, be that one person that did something that was just very random and just run with it. And I wanted to show other young men especially that they could do the same.
So let's address the award-winning coconut therapy.
Yeah.
Now, where did this concept come from, and could you tell us more about it?
Yeah. So back in the day when when I was doing this speaking thing, I had taken a long hiatus at that time because I was preaching a lot, but I realized that I was losing the essence of it. I wasn't practicing what I preach, and I was still growing up. I still growing up today, and I took a step back. So I said, next time I do it, I'm not going to do it because I want fame or because I want shares and I want people to know me. I'm going to do it because I want to do it. And I was having a conversation with my wife, and I was telling her, well, babe, I don't really know what to start. Like, I don't know how to start it. I don't know what to do. And she was like, just do you. And doing me could be multiple things because I'm a very random person. So I told myself, you know what? I have a camera, I got a phone, I got mics, and what could work? And I started scribbling, and I told myself, you know what? Snow cone thoughts. But I was thinking about the logistics, and I was like, to get snow cone everywhere, that not gonna make sense. But you could get coconut anywhere. And I was like, that's the easiest thing to get. Like, you could get coconut from anywhere. You could pay for a coconut. You could climb a tree for a coconut. You could find a coconut on the ground, and I wanted something to kind of give that Caribbean feel because we live in Barbados, a tropical island, and that's how I got coconut therapy. So the idea was to have something that brings essence where we could just talk, we could sip a coconut and just talk about life and talk about journeys and where you're at and where you want to be. And yeah, that's how I came about with it.
So for those of you who did not know, coconut therapy won the 2025 National Youth Awards.
Yeah.
Now, could you tell me how it felt to win this award, having started coconut therapy just a year ago, and take me back to that moment when you actually were awarded for coconut therapy?
That was probably one of the most random nights this year for me. I remember I was nominated for it a couple years back, but I didn't win it. And I remember how I felt in that moment. I remember I was like, I never win something as prestigious as this, because I was like, you know what, Antonio, like, you weren't in that space, you weren't there yet. So when I got the email that I was nominated for it, I was like, this is so cool. But you see, it was different messaging this time. The messaging was much different because it was like, I'm not doing this for accolades, I just doing this because I want to do it. So when I saw the nomination, I was like, okay, this is great, this is cool. But you see, as the day came, that's when it started changing. I was like, what if I could win this, But then when I saw the other nominees, like Anwar Boys, David Johnson, Joel Manning, colleagues of mine who are doing great things in the field, I was telling myself, this don't make no sense. Like, I not go win this, like, I just happy to be there. So I remember I was with my friend, a great woman, Gabrielle Gay. We were sitting down next to each other. We were paired together, and we was just choosing everywhere. It was like, yeah, this person go in this category, this person go in this category. And I remember she got looked at me. I said, which category are you in? And I said, I'm in the sandbox. And she was like, shh, there are a lot of people in there. And I was like, yeah. She was like, how old you are? I said, I'm 27. She said, well, you got till you're 35, man. And I was like, you're right. So I remember when it came now for the announcement, my wife was sitting now up closer to the stage, and I remember the same night when we was getting ready to go, she said, I just feel like something different that happened tonight, like, Antonio, I feel like this could be yours, and I remember when they called my name, I couldn't believe it. I freaked out. I was like, what? Like, I thought it was a mistake. So I remember when I walked in there and I saw my picture up, and I was like, yo, like, I won this. Like, this makes no sense, but I won it, and it was honestly a moment I would never forget, to have an award like that, especially, being recognized like that nationally from your country. That is indescribable feeling, because you've been in the field for so long, and then when you finally get that recognized moment, it's like, ooh, So, yeah, it was very nice. It was very nice. It catch me off guard for sure. but it was a beautiful experience.
I think the lesson to learn from this is that, when you have a gift or talent, you should continue to pursue it, and continue to go after it. And who knows when you will be awarded or recognized for it, it
Yeah,
can make an
I agree.
impact in society.
I agree. I agree.
Okay, so you reference religion a lot and it's woven into your content. So how big of a role does religion play in your life?
A big role. Before I thought I could do it by myself. I used to always have this weird relationship with God because I came out religious, but it never like stuck to me at that point. Because when you come out young, automatically you go to church because your
Parents
family,
take it, yeah.
and I got into church, I altar server, I do so much things in church, but I still didn't feel that connection with God. It's only till like I stopped going to church and I became an adult, and you start living more, you start doing things. You're more of a man now. You got things that you got to put in place. And honestly, it tough. Adulthood tough,
Yeah, it
So
is.
I sometimes wonder how we parents do it. But I told myself, you know what? Let me lean on God, but not to lean on God for things. Just lean on God and see how that goes. And it's so important for me to speak on God because He has helped me so much, and He has helped mold me in different ways. And personally, I said if I do anything, I have to include Him because I would do a lot of things before including Him. And I find that a lot of young people miss out on the blessing when you could actually walk with the Father. And I think it was very important for me to bring God into the midst because He is the person that, like, I won the award, but He was the one that saw fit that I was supposed to get it. He was the one that blessed me enough to even have the idea to start coconut therapy. So I made sure to always incorporate Him in everything because if I don't do that, then it don't make sense,
Yeah.
So that's why He's always in it. That's why like I will always talk about Him, and I find that especially right now in these times, we talk with God with we try to be very politically correct when we're having a relationship with God.
Yeah.
I see it differently. I feel like every person should have their unique relationship with God, however you view Him, and that's how I approach it when it comes to my videos because I start with God, and that's it had to be like that. It had to be like that. Yeah.
And I love the fact that you include God within your work, because with
Yes.
God all things are possible.
All things are possible.
So I wanted to ask, what would you say to the young people now out there who are taking on different careers, whether content creation, small businesses? What would you say to them, to show the importance of including God within your
Yeah.
plans and whatever you do?
That's a good question. And sometimes, people would say, follow your passion, follow your dreams. That's what you're supposed to do, right? How I view it is this walk of life, you're doing it for the first time. You're not gonna get it right. You might get it right this month, you might get it right next month, you won't get it right the third month. You might get it right the month after that. But it is important for you to always remember that as you walk this journey of life and as you create your own footprint and start your legacy, always remember that God is with you through it all, and where you see your destination, it is possible. It might look different when you get there, but it is possible. And to always stay close and hold firm because you will be surprised how much your life could change when you decide to allow yourself to be open to receiving. And keep pushing, keep moving. Every day could be rough sometimes, some days not. You might be depressed, you might be going through a lot. But at the end of the day, always know that you could turn to God. If you can't turn to anyone else, you could turn to God. That's your coach. That's your blessing. That's the man that could guide you where you got to go. But stay on the path. There's a reason why the path is not smooth because you don't understand something.
Yeah.
You don't understand it. It's not the path that we chose. He's the one that chose it for us. So how could we complain about something that we don't understand? Like, you're not gonna understand it. We're living it. That's why I say you're living life for the first time. Enjoy it as much as you can.
To wrap it all up, you once said, maybe we should start giving ourselves the same chances that we give to other people.
Yeah.
Could you explain what that means?
You ever realize that we are our biggest critics?
Yeah.
Especially as young people. You know, social media, so many different comparisons. You know, it's easy for us to avoid giving ourselves the chance because sometimes we don't think that we're worthy of it. But we will give so many different people a plethora of chances. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know? But at the same time, I find that you leave yourself out. And that's why I really stand on give yourself the same chance, because you will be surprised how much your life turn around if you choose you, if you give yourself that chance. Like I think sometimes it's so underrated to choose you, especially in a time where everyone is so focused on trying to be like this person or trying to be this or for this person or living because this person want you to live this life. Give yourself a chance. The same chances you would give to somebody that do you foolishness, same chances that you would give to a partner that break your heart, same chances you would give to a friend that, you know, that hasn't lived up to being a friend, you know. Give yourself that same chance and opportunity. I know it sounds a little controversial sometimes, but like that's just what it is. Like you have to choose you sometimes. So put that same work in that you will put in to another person into yourself. You could still do both. But sometimes I feel like you watering other plants and you leaving your plant there thirsty, and that's not how it should be. So that's why I stand on that.
Thank you, Antonio, so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure chopping it up with you, and we hope to have you back sometime soon.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for coming outside. I appreciate it.
Yes, please. Tune in to this episode and more on our website and any platform where you listen to our podcast.